y'all, welcome back to the Santino Sunday Cigar Review. This week we're going to be doing the Epernay Le Grand by Illusione, so stay tuned.
Get it?
All right, welcome back everybody to Santino Sunday Cigar Review. I'm Mike, Maddy, and of course Sparks is always here, and we have a little guest, Gannicus, the killer. So anyways, like Maddy said, we're reviewing Illusione's Epernay cigar. I'm going to go ahead and describe, hi Gannicus, you like me now. So folks, this is a little bit lighter than what we did last week. We're featuring Illusione 2 weeks in a row here. This is going to be, I'll let Maddy describe the consistency and the composition and everything first. But it's a lighter cigar.
Yeah.
It's more of a, I would say, a medium.
Yeah.
Maddy, why don't you go ahead and just jump in and give us the breakdown of the composition, and then I'll go into this.
So yeah, as Mike was saying, this is definitely a medium cigar. The wrapper binder filler on it is all Nicaraguan all the way through, which is really typical for Illusione, but it's really not typical for every other company on the market right now. Overall, people have been saying this is a medium-bodied cigar, but it's really, it doesn't have much in the way of nicotine, but it's still got a lot of flavor in it, which I think is also really common for them as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about this, especially later in the segment when we go into a pairing. It's really interesting. Folks, so once again, very typical of Illusione, nice, dark wrapper. It's not as oily and sheeny as like what we reviewed last week, which was the 88. Not too many veins. I did notice it fired right up. It had a little bit of a tight draw to begin with, and it could just be that particular cigar. I don't find it with the line or anything else, but it's smoking fine again now, and it's burning symmetrically. Folks, the cool thing about this, a little different in notes and characteristics. So I'm getting some coffee notes of flavors. You get a little honey, you get a little sweetness, you get some floral notes. So for those of you that like gin and the floral aspects of gin, I wouldn't say that this would be a good pairing. I think the floral aspects of both would kind of ruin that experience.
Yeah.
And even somewhat of a little honeysuckle. I like it. It's lighter, it's sweeter, but it's still medium, which means you're getting a lot of taste. All right, Maddy, you got anything else, or should we? I'll smoke into this a little bit, and we'll come right back.
All right.
All right, welcome back, everyone. All right, so I'm kind of getting into this second third. As you can, I don't know, you probably won't be able to see this on camera, but a little different than the 88. So the 88 was a real dark black ash. This is more typical of Nicaraguan cigar that you'd expect. It's a grayer ash. It's a thinner ash. The 88 was more bulky, flaky, and black. Just interesting characteristics to point out. It doesn't really change or do anything to the smoke. The taste or more the flavors are subtle still. You're still getting that light, that kind of a natural sweetness. I even hate to say the word sweetness because it sounds like it's infused, and folks, it's not. It's just the way the tobacco tastes.
Yeah.
But you're getting, you're still getting light floral components. It's kind of very interesting. It's very different. But I don't want to give the wrong impression, like for people that want a medium or full-bodied cigar, that this would be too light or they wouldn't like it. So, Maddy, I don't know if you can help explain what I'm trying to say, because I wouldn't want people to not try it if they thought, well, I don't like honeysuckle, or I don't like, these floral components he's talking about. Well, they're not pronounced and prominent, so it's not one flavor is overriding the others. It's just it's still a good medium, flavorful cigar.
Mm-hmm.
And were you able to smoke any of these back when
I don't remember smoking this one in particular. I smoked a lot of Illusione back whenever I could, but I can't, if I did smoke it, I can't remember it off the top of my head. So,
Okay. Well, and one thing I was going to talk about in this segment is pairing. And, you know, what I like about this and what I was excited about is, you know, we tend to want to smoke a medium or full-bodied cigar and have a nice bourbon or scotch, and they, you know, they go well together. What's interesting about this is what what I've read into and I can now see is it's great with coffee, and that's what I'm drinking. So it's paired well with that, but it's great with scotch and tea of all things. Well, we know there's a lot of people that like to drink tea. I never would have thought that. So guys, this gives you, and women, I didn't mean it like that, but this gives everyone just something new to try. I mean, when's the last time you thought about having a good cup of tea, you know, with your cigar? So it's a very versatile pairing. You go everything from whiskey scotch to coffee to tea. So it folks, once again, this is why we do what we do here, because we want people to have new experiences and try new things. And I think it's a great cigar to pair up with one of these things, especially if you there's a lot of coffee and scotch lovers and people who like their afternoon tea. So I think that's neat. I think that's something that I've never really seen that before with a lot of cigar companies. So, all right. So stay tuned. We're going to get into the last third, and then we're going to wrap this up.
all right, so while Mike smokes into that a little bit more, I'm going to talk about the actual size of the cigar, because it's really weird for Illusione. So this cigar is actually a 6x46, so it's not quite a Lancero, but it's also not quite anything else either. Like honestly, the best way I can describe this cigar is a really long Corona. That's about all I can really use to really describe it. But honestly, this would be a great smoke for someone who, like us, doesn't really like all of the big ring gauge cigars that are flooding the market nowadays. But yet you still want a really good quality smoke. You want something that's going to be nice and has all of the good hints and taste to it. So I think the size aspect of the cigar is a really cool thing.
Yep. And, you know, and I'll just add one little caveat that I've probably mentioned a dozen times over the last couple of years. And folks, Maddy touched on it. There is a phenomenon, especially in this country, it seems to be leading the way as I talk to the vendors and the reps and things, is, you know, the larger ring gauge size cigars, especially your 6x60s, your 7x70s, and your rare 8x80s, but mostly the 6x60s, have become a popular size and demand for this country. But what I've tried to reiterate to people in the store or on this venue like this, our show, is that look, originally, no manufacturer, especially dating back to even Cuba, right? When a blender came up with an idea for a cigar, the size that was associated with that blend was usually like a Corona or a Lancero, especially because, folks, what that does is the bigger you go with this ring gauge, you have to fill. You can only put so much of the desired tobacco and leaf in the product. As you get a bigger ring gauge, you have to backfill it with lesser tobacco, sometimes even scraps, and maybe they won't admit to it, but you're not getting the true taste profile as it was designed as you get a bigger ring gauge. And you could just simply think of it, economics, is if the desired design is a $10 cigar because it's created in this size, okay, and if you make now this cigar into a 6x60, it becomes a $15 or $20 cigar, but you're not getting all the same tobacco that comprised that $10 idea and design that the roller had in mind. So if you can understand cigars that way, if you want the purest form of any cigar, go to its smaller size, and then you will get the true intended result from that cigar. So unfortunately in America, we think bigger is better, and it has created a whole market. So they're fulfilling the market demand, but in my humble opinion, I don't think you get the true essence of the cigar. Now, it still may taste to you like the best cigar you ever had, and we're not going to try to change your mind if you want a 6x60 or larger. But I just want people to understand this is a crucial and pivotal point in the industry, because the industry is changing, and I don't necessarily know if it's for the better. Is my humble opinion. Maddy, what are your thoughts on that?
I think you perfectly nailed it there. Okay, so Mike and I both agree on the pros and cons of this cigar. So our pro for this cigar is its size, its characteristics. It's got a wonderful profile to it. Our only con that we could really find with this cigar is that it's not available everywhere. That's just Illusione in general. And I think that's about good.
Yep.
So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that way you can be notified whenever all of our videos go live. Make sure you check out our Facebook, because that's when we're going to be posting whenever new things are coming in all the time. And I think that's good.
Yep, and remember, here at Santino's, we drink,
We smoke and
we
we
know
know
things.
things. Have fun, y'all.